Okay, so very good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Sir.
So let me share my screen. Okay. So is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so as of now, we are very much familiar with the HTML, CSS, and the client and server uh, terms. So now let's move further to our next topic, that is JavaScript. I think someone has mic on. Please turn off. Yeah. Okay, so let me create a folder first, then we will move on to JavaScript. Okay, so let's have a file notes.txt. Yeah, sure. Okay, so since now we are familiar with these technologies or these languages like HTML and CSS. So HTML is for what purpose? To build the layout of any application or to define a structure of any web page. So we are going to use this HTML. And for what purpose we have used CSS? Just for the styling purpose. Okay. Now we are going to explore JavaScript. Okay, so since when we are discussing the HTML and CSS, you people are having lots of doubts and lots of questions that how we are going to do this. So always my answer was that we are going to use JavaScript. Okay, so what idea you people are having for this JavaScript? Can you just answer it? What we can do with the help of JavaScript?
Or logical.
Logical.
We can build logical syntaxes.
Yes,
Logical
exactly.
operations.
Can do logical
Absolutely
operation
correct.
on the browser.
Exactly. See, this HTML is only going to display some data. CSS is going to apply some styles on our web page, but the main functionality of our application, all the business logics will be carried out with the help of JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript is used to write logics that can be executed on the browser. Okay, so that can be executed on the browser itself. So we are considering browser as a client side. So you can also say that JavaScript is used for client side scripting. Yes or no? What exactly will be client side scripting? What the name of this thing is suggesting? Client side scripting.
That means back client system we write JavaScript logics.
Exactly. Who is going to execute the JavaScript? Only the browser.
But
Right?
sir, you told that developers who are holding the server are you controlling the servers. So don't you think it will be easy, quite easy to hack them?
No, it's not quite easy because their server, first of all, will be running on HTTPS. and they are having that security implementations on their server. Okay, it's not easy to jailbreak them. Since you are
Okay,
knowing
sir.
this JavaScript, it's not easy to hack any server because they are not such kind of fools that they are not going to apply some sort of security. Okay, so this JavaScript is built to execute logics on the browser. So we can say that this JavaScript is used for the client-side scripting. So just try to understand one point. We are having one client machine and we are having one server machine. So there needs to be some logics on the client, and also there will be some logics on the server. Okay, so the logics which are executing, or the logical operation which is executing on the client, is being referred as client side scripting. Okay, and this is client side scripting, and the logics which are executing on the server side, I'm going to refer it as server side scripting. Okay. So this is the term which we are going to use, that is client side scripting and the server side scripting. So using JavaScript, first of all, we are likely to achieve the execution of the logic on the browser itself. Okay, so first of all, we will learn that what syntax we need to write for the JavaScript. Okay, so what are the things which we are getting in the JavaScript? Then we are going to execute that same logic on the browser. Okay, so if you are executing your JavaScript code on the browser, then we are doing what? Client side scripting. So that when JavaScript code is running on the client, okay, so when your server is performing some operations by using any technology, like suppose you are using Java for server, either you are going with the PHP, or let's say Python for the server, or you may go with JavaScript for the server. So whenever any logic is executing on the server side, we are referring it to as server side scripting. Okay, so this is how the terms are going to work. Okay, so are you guys able to understand these terms, client side and server side scripting?
So could you please repeat it?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
See, when just try to answer by yourself, where will JavaScript code is going to be executed? Who is going to execute your JavaScript code?
Browser.
Browser.
Obviously. And browser is what? Client or server?
Client.
So your logic is running or client. So what we are going to say it? Server side scripting or client side scripting?
Client side.
Definitely. This is just a term given to the logics executed on the client machine. It may be your a browser, or it may be your any client which is built on, let's say, Android app, or it may be any client built on iOS app. When client is going to execute something, that is client side scripting. So what I'm referring as client side scripting, that is logics which are executed on the client. It's just a term. Okay, I'm not elaborating you any technical concept, like you are having loop or if else syntax or object oriented terms. I'm not using that. I'm just giving you a slang, that what we are going to call the logics which are executed on the client. So client side scripting, logics which are executed on the client. And what will be the server side scripting?
Logic which are executed on server
Exactly.
using Java or Python.
Exactly. Logics which are executed on server. So whenever you are supposed to do on the server, you will write server side scripting. And whenever you have to write some logics on the client, then you are doing client side scripting. For example, uh, let's say we are having one task that is form validation. uh, Form validation means what? You are having lots of fields inside your form, and you want to check that if value is there available or not. Do we need to send a required error message? Like I would just show you a example for that. Let me open that Facebook application. Yeah. Suppose I'm going to create a new account, and you are seeing a sign up page, and we know that the Facebook has written some logic that is going to be executed for this form validation, right? So let's say if I'm uh, hitting this button that is sign up, then what will happen on the page? Just have a look. Okay, so this means we are having some error messages onto each and every input field. Why this is happening? So which logic is being executed here? Is it client side scripting or is it server side scripting for these
Client
validation?
side. Client side.
Clients.
Exactly, only the client side scripting is there. Okay, so form validations are being executed on the client side. Okay. And if you want to perform some animations, then you can also go with the client side scripting. Okay. So whatever be the logic, you have to execute that logic onto the client side, and we are going to refer it as the client side scripting. So we all know that JavaScript is used for client-side scripting. So I have already written this point that JavaScript is used for client-side scripting. This means whenever you want to execute some logics on your browser, it may be any arithmetic operation, or it may be any logical operation, like you are writing some if-else conditions, you are writing some loops, you are having some arrays, you are having some functions, like all the operations which you have performed in your Java core language, the same logic you are going to execute here. Okay, so whenever any programming language is considered, okay, then you can create some variables, and you can take user input, you can perform operations like loops, and you are having three types of loops. One is for loop, one is while loop, one is do while loop, and you can also apply some conditions using if else and switch case, using nested if. So all of these things are being available in JavaScript also. Okay, so that you can perform any logical operation on the browser itself with the help of JavaScript. So all of you understood that why we are going to use this JavaScript language? What's the purpose of this JavaScript?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
hello, sir. As you see, if you see there, the first page of the Facebook, we got error there. Then you said that it is a client side scripting, right? But if we got inside that second page or third page, any page inside that server of Facebook, if we got some error, then it is also the client side scripting, right?
It may be a case. Just see, it will totally depend on type of error you are getting. Suppose on Facebook application you are having one error like please uh, check your internet connection. Then this is what? It is client side or server side?
Server side.
Yes, client side or server side. Just try to answer it. Please check internet connection.
Client side.
This
Client side.
is the client
Client
side
side.
scripting because internet is required on the client machine. Then if you are seeing this kind of error, then also this is the client side scripting. Okay, but suppose you are hitting that like button. Okay, you are hitting that like button just to give a like on any post. Okay, then if suppose that is not happening and you are hitting that like button, and if it is not working, then it may be a fault of that client, or it may be a fault of that server, because it may be a case where suppose your client has sent a request on the server, but server hasn't responded to it. There might be a case, so it may be fault of a server. Okay, but whenever suppose you are having one logic that you are sending any request. Okay, so when you send a friend request to some another user of the Facebook, then which logic will be there, client side scripting or server side scripting? Send a friend request.
Client.
Server side.
uh,
Server.
Yes, this is server side scripting because the request is sent on this server, and there is something called as database which is storing all the friend requests. Okay, and when someone is accepting or rejecting that friend request, then again it will be what, a server side scripting or client side scripting?
Client side.
Server side.
Server side.
That is also server side scripting. Okay, that is server side. And suppose you are sending a message. Okay, then that logic of sending the message will be client side scripting or the server side scripting.
So
Storing
Client
that
side.
message, storing that
From
message.
client side.
So this means only the client machine is going to store the message. There is nothing with the server.
No, not like that.
Okay, so this means whenever you log in onto Facebook, okay, only your client machine is going to show the Facebook messages, whatever you sent. Is it so?
Not getting the.
I'm
you
just trying to say
be
that
specific? Yes.
whenever you are sending any message, where that message is going to be stored? Only on your client or on the server?
Server.
Server server.
Yes. So that scripting is what? Server side scripting or client side scripting?
Server side.
Obviously, since you are writing that message on the client, but that message is going to be stored on the server. Okay, so that's why that logic is being referred as a server side scripting. Okay, so there's a difference between the client and the server side scripting, right? So all the logics which are executing on the client are client side scripting, and the operations which are there on the server is being referred as the server side scripting.
Sir, what we if you download any file from internet?
Yes, if you are downloading that file, then who is sending the file? Again, server side scripting. So server is performing one operation, that is file handling. The server is sending you a file onto the client. So just see if you are downloading any file. So we are having two logics here. One will be the client side and one will be the server side. So what will be the role of server? So role of server here just to send that file. And what will be the role of that client? To store that file into the client's folder structure. So this file downloading is a combination of both things, client side scripting and server side scripting. But this sending that file is that operation which will be carried out by your server, and storing that file into the client's folder structure will be the operation which is being performed on the client. So all of you understood?
Sir, receiving and sending the file is server side, right?
Not receiving. Server is having that file. In file downloading, who is receiving the file? Server is receiving or client is receiving?
Receiving, like client upload, when client upload a file.
So when you are saying that you are uploading file, then only server will receive that file. When we are discussing about the downloading, then who is the receiver?
Client.
Yes, the client is receiver. But if you are talking about file uploading, then what will be the client side scripting here?
Downloading. I'm sorry, uploading the file.
Ending the file.
Logic to upload the file.
Exactly. Logic to upload the file. This means the role of client is only to send the file on server. This is the only role of the client. Now, what will be the server side scripting here?
Receive and store.
Exactly. To receive the
Store and
file,
respond also. Yes.
yes, to receive the file and store it in server. Okay. So this is the logic which we are going to build. Okay, so for any task, for any feature on your web application, you are going to write some client-side scripting and you are going to write some server-side scripting also. For example, just to post a comment. So again, we will be having some logic on the client and some logic on the server. So what will be the role of client in posting a comment?
Writing
Message.
Yeah. So role of client is to show a text field so that in that text field user can write a comment and send that return comment, send that return comment on the server. Now the server is going to do what? So server will receive the comment and store it in database kind of thing. We will see that this database term later on. So this logic of sending the comment on the server from the client will be referred as a client side scripting. Okay, and when server is receiving the comment and server is storing it in the database will be referred as the server side scripting. So are you guys able to recognize the client side or server side scripting for any feature?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me take one more example of sign up. So in this sign up mechanism, what will be the client side scripting?
Getting the data.
Exactly. So first of all,
Show text field.
client will show a form and form validation is going to be there, that these input fields are having valid values or not. So this is going to be the logic on client and send the form data to server. Okay, so these operations are client side scripting. And what will be the role of the server here? To receive the data and store it in database. So this is the server side scripting. So the role of client is only to do the form validations and they send the data on this server. So sending the data from the client will be the logic which is carried out on the client. So that is the client side scripting. Okay. And for the login, again, there is going to be one server and there is going to be one client. So the role of client is to show login form. Again, form validation will be there. So how many fields are going to be there in the login form?
2.
Yes, there are going to be only two fields. One will be for your username and one will be for your password. Then the role of client is just to send your username and password to the server. Now, what will be the role of server here? The server is going to store these username or password.
No.
Check.
First validation is done.
Exactly. So
Validation.
server will receive these username and password values and server is going to check if the entered username or password is being available in our database or not. Okay. So if username and password are matched Then the success message will be responded, and if the username and password didn't match, then it will respond like username or password didn't match. Okay, so this is the server side scripting. Okay, so using JavaScript language, initially we are going to perform the client side scripting only. Okay, then later on we will understand that how we are going to use JavaScript for the server side scripting also. So as of now, all of you understood the role of JavaScript.
So how this concept works for peer-to-peer connection? Means,
See,
I mean, if you are downloading any file from torrent, someone in other side is uploading that file on the same time.
exactly. See, there is going to be one server and two clients attached. One is C1 and one is C2. Okay, so C1 is sending that file on the server and C2 is receiving that file. The same architecture works for any chat application. Suppose there are two WhatsApps, one is on machine C1 and one is on machine C2. So these C1 and C2 are not interacting directly with each other. So when C1 sends a message, it will be received by the server and server is going to broadcast that message to C2. This is how things are going to work in your case also. What doubt you have asked? So if there are two machines on which someone is uploading the file and someone is downloading the file, then they are not interacting to each other directly. So when C1 is uploading some file, then that file is being stored on the server and server is sending that file to the C2. Understood?
Sir, that means it work like a mediator.
Yes, because all
Okay.
the things needs to be processed. Okay, so their server comes into action to process all of the things. So suppose whenever you are sending a message on the Facebook also, suppose you are writing some comment also, so that comment is being stored by the server, and from that server that comment is being displayed onto the entire Facebook application clients. Okay, so this is how this client and server are going to work. Okay, so now let's just explore that how we are supposed to write the JavaScript logic into our HTML page. So first of all, let me create one HTML file. Okay, so I'm creating one HTML file like web.html. Okay, so let's open this. So as we all know, the basic structure of any HTML documents, first of all, we will write this HTML, then head, then inside the body. Okay, we are going to display the main data of our web page. Now, how we are supposed to write the JavaScript code? Since when we have explored the CSS concept, we have discussed that we have to write the entire CSS code in the style tag. Okay. So in the same way, if you are going to write the JavaScript code, you are going to use the script tag. So we have to open the script tag and we have to close the script tag, and inside the script tag, we are going to write our JavaScript logic. So that's the way of writing the JavaScript logic. So let me show you. So inside the body tag, I'm going to create one script tag. So I have opened the script tag and I have closed the script tag, and in between these script tags, I can write the JavaScript logic. And suppose if you are writing JavaScript logic directly, like suppose if I want to apply, let's say one if condition. So I'm not supposed to write if condition directly. So if suppose I'm writing if else directly inside my body tag, then this will going to print this block as it is. Okay. So just to consider this amount of code as JavaScript code, we have to write this script tag. Okay. So just open your script and close your script and in between this, you can write any JavaScript logic. So all of you understood where we are going to write the JavaScript code?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's do one thing. Let's try to print hello world using JavaScript. So basically, this JavaScript language, this JavaScript language is following some of the syntax of Java language. Okay, but there is no relation between the Java and JavaScript. Okay, there is no relation between Java and JavaScript. So it's just the way of writing the syntax. You will find it somewhere similar to the Java language. Okay, so that's the only relation between Java and JavaScript. But don't think that the Java people has developed this JavaScript language. No. Okay, this is totally a different language which is being controlled by the different organization. Like Java is controlled or is operated by the Oracle. Okay, so there is no such relation between this JavaScript and the Oracle. Okay, so it's just the syntax which is going to be similar to the Java. Okay, so that's the only relation between Java and the JavaScript language. You will find it somewhere similar, like in Java programming, you are having parseInt method. So in that same way, you are having that same function in JavaScript. Okay, you are having toString method in Java. So same function you will be having in JavaScript also. So as we all know that Java is object-oriented programming. Okay, so in that same way, JavaScript is also an object-oriented programming. Okay, so you will get lots of predefined objects just to perform any operation onto your web page. So basically, JavaScript is object-oriented programming. So this means we will get objects. Let me write a point. We will get some predefined objects, and we can create our own objects also. Okay, so in Java language you have explored that how we are going to create the class, so how we are going to create an object of that class. Okay, and whatever be the concepts which you have learned in Java language, like you have learned this encapsulation, you have learned inheritance. So there is lots of object oriented features which you have explored in Java language. So you are going to have those same concepts in JavaScript also, because JavaScript is just following the syntax of the Java programming. Okay, so in JavaScript you are getting lots of predefined objects. So one predefined object that we are going to have, that is document. So in JavaScript programming, we are having one object that is document. So document is what? So document is simply a JavaScript object. So you can see I have written one object that is document, and I have not defined this object by myself, because is a document is a predefined object. Okay, is predefined object in JavaScript. Then if document is object, then which thing this is going to represent? So this document object will represent your entire web page. Okay, so this document object will represent your entire web page. So suppose using JavaScript, when you want to do any operation on your web page, we are supposed to use this document object. Okay, so using this document object, we will carry out all the operations on our web page. Without this document object, we can't perform any operation on our web page. For example, let me write one point for you that what exactly will be the purpose of using this document object. So to perform any operation on the web page, okay, we are going to use document object, because this document object is representing your entire web page. So what all operations we can perform on our web page? So we can display some data. Okay, we can display some data on the web page, and that same operation will be carried out with the help of document. And we can remove some elements from our web page, and also we can change the content. We can change the content of any HTML element. For example, if you are having one paragraph element, and by using this document object, you can remove that paragraph also. Okay, if suppose you are having one h1 element, so in that h1 element you are displaying one heading like hello world, so you can change its content dynamically with the help of this document object. And you can also display your own message, your own data with the help of this document object. So if you are thinking of performing any operation on your web page, then document object will do it for you. Okay, so as of now, we are using this document object to display our own hello world message. Okay, so we have to display a message on the web browser. This means on a web page we want to display a hello world message. So again, this operation will be carried out by the document. Okay, so I'm going to refer the syntax of Java programming. So have you guys remembered that how we are supposed to call a method on an object? If you are having one object, then how you can call a method on any object?
Object input stream.
Object
Dot
dot
operator.
Dot operator.
What will be the syntax? If suppose you are having one object that is S1, and one method we want to call that is show, then how you are
S1 dot show.
S1 dot show, right? So in this same way, which object we are having? The document object. Okay, and one method is there in JavaScript which is write. So this write method is going to print a message, or is going to print some data on your web page. Suppose if I have to write hello world message, then I would like to write hello world. Okay, then how we are supposed to call this write method? So document dot write. So this will be the syntax of calling this write method. Okay, so document is an object of your entire web page, and on that web page we are going to write a message that is hello world. So this is how you are going to write the JavaScript logic. So document dot write, and in this write method, we are supposed to pass some data or some message. So like I am writing one value that is hello world. So document dot write hello world. So let's just open this web.html. Okay, so you can see we are having one hello world message displayed on our web page. Okay, so this is how we are going to display some data on the web page using the JavaScript. So again, this document is an object and write is its method. So all of you got this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so in JavaScript, we are having one more object, that is the console. So you might have seen that whenever I'm inspecting any web page, there are lots of tabs in inspector window. So one is this elements tab and one is the console tab. So in this console tab, uh, you are having this plain white screen on which you can display some of the messages. And again, this console will be represented by this console object. Okay. So if you want to log any message on the console, if you want to display any message on the console, then in JavaScript, we are going to use this console object. And which data we will display on the console, any variables value, and this will only be used whenever you are going to write any logic, or whenever you are going to display a message that is related to the development perspective only. Okay, because the users are not going to open this console. So whenever you are having any message, let's say any debugging message, or any you are having any variable whose value you want to display, just to have a look that what exactly this variable is having a value. So we are supposed to log that messages, and we have to print those values in console only. Okay, because for any end user, for any normal person who is going to use our application, will not open the console. Okay, and there may also be a case where some users are not aware that we are having a thing which is named as console, right? Because a normal person, a non-technical person, is not supposed to have a knowledge of this console. Okay, so this console is only for the development purpose. And if you are having some of your debugging messages, then you can definitely log those messages on the console. So how we are going to write some data on the console? So to write anything on the console, we need object of that. Suppose when you are about to write some data on the web page, so we are having that object of web page, which is document. And when you are supposed to write some message on the console, then we are having that console object. So again, this console is a predefined object in JavaScript. And which thing this console is representing? So console object will represent, so console object will represent the console of browser. So when you want to show any data on the console, we will use this console object. So how we are going to use this console object? So just write the name of object as console, and which method we are going to call. So we are going to call that log method. Okay, so we are going to call this console.log. So console is an object that is representing your console area of the browser, and log will be the method that is going to log any message, or that may write any message on your console area. For example, I'm writing one message like hello console. So let me write this console.log just below the document.write. Okay, so I'm writing console.log hello console. So this hello world will be displayed. So this hello world will be displayed on the web page, because we have accessed this document object, and this hello console will be displayed on the console because we are using this console object. So I'm refreshing this. Okay, so you are able to see that hello world is displayed on the web page, and hello console is being displayed on the console. Okay.
So, but sir, what's the use of console? Like,
Only we will use console only for the debugging purpose. Suppose whenever you are having any logic and you are having some variables and you want to check that what value is being assigned into those variables, like what data you are having inside those variables. So we can use this console area for that purpose. Like
So it's basically a demo window. Can we say that?
yes, this window is only made for the developers, not for the end users.
Means checking that data is correct or not.
Yes, exactly. You can use console for that. Let me show you if the Facebook people has logged something on console or not. Okay. See, when I'm opening the console for Facebook, they have shown this message like this is a browser feature intended for developer only. If someone told you to copy and paste something here to enable a Facebook feature or hack someone's account, it is a scam. Okay, so this console area is only for the developers so that you can write your own messages. So you just don't have to print your messages on your web page main area. For example, you are having one logic. Let's say we want to add two integer numbers. Okay, there is a logic that we want to add two integer numbers, but we need those numbers from user input. Okay, we need those numbers from user input. Now I want to check. Okay, so now I want to check if someone has clicked the submit button or not. Okay, just I want to check. So I'm supposed to write a message like yes, button is clicked, or we can say button is not clicked. So where we are going to print this message, on console or on web page? Where you guys
Console.
think of?
Console.
Why console?
Then web page, sir.
Why web page?
Because
This message is only made for developer. We are not supposed to show this message to end user. Why we are showing this button is clicked? I just want to know that inside my logic that if button is clicked or button is not clicked. If button is clicked, then I want to know this message is printed or not. Button is clicked. Do we need to show this message to end users?
No.
no.
No. So end users are only going to see the result of the addition. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
but only for the development purpose, I want to know that the submit button is clicked or not. So for that purpose, I would like to log that data on the console only, so that only developers are going to view that message. We are not going to show this message to the users. Okay, so only for the development purpose, if you are displaying some messages, like if you are having that one block which is if else, we can write if else in JavaScript. Yes or no? Can we write if else in JavaScript?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Yes.
we
Yes,
can
sir.
write if else in JavaScript. So how you are going to know about this fact that whether your if block is executing or your else block is executing. So let's say if you are writing one if else block like this, and inside this if else block, I'm going to write one message on the web page like document dot write if block. I'm writing this message as inside if block. Then this message is going to be displayed on web page or on console.
Web page.
On web page.
Web
This is
page.
going to be displayed on web
Web
page.
page.
Do you think that this is a good idea?
No.
We are
No.
displaying this
No,
message
no.
to users like inside if block, inside else block. No, this
No.
is not good
No.
idea to show this kind of messages on the web page. So for that purpose, we will use console. So all of you understood the importance of console?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, is using semicolon mandatory in JavaScript?
No, I'm coming to that point. The writing semicolon is not mandatory in JavaScript when all the statements are being written in the new line. It's not mandatory. If I will remove these semicolons, then also our code is going to work definitely. Let me show you. See, everything is working fine. But if you are having multiple statements written in the same line, then you have to write semicolon. Let's say I'm going to write this document.write and console.log in the same line, then you can see there is one error. So here you have to write semicolon. So if there are multiple statements and if you are writing them in new line, then you can omit the semicolons. But if you are writing multiple statements in the same line, then you are supposed to write semicolon. Okay,
So, sir, console is just for developers understanding that
exactly.
what part is getting executed and what is not.
Exactly. Only for the debugging messages, we will use this console area only for the development purpose.
Okay, sir.
Sir, we can write the script part external also, like
Yes,
CSE.
yes. You can write this JavaScript as a separate file also. I'm going to show you that later how we are going to write a separate JavaScript file. Okay. We have to follow some sequence before that. Okay, so all of you understood these things, document.write and console.log.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How can we see an error if we are going to get an error while applying logic and scripting? Yes, the same console is going to show you some errors. Let me open that Facebook console. So Vishal, you can see that on the console you are having this kind of error message: dev tools failed to load resource map. So this is an error message. So all the error messages you are going to have, that will be logged on the console itself. Understood? Let me show you one example of it. Let's say I have made one mistake in writing the name of that console object. Okay, then I'm going to refresh my page. Then this console is going to represent your error. Okay, so if you
Yes, sir.
are
Understood.
having some error onto your JavaScript code, then you will be having that error in the console area. Okay, so now let's move on to some other concepts as well. So in Java programming, you people are very much familiar with the concept of variables. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So why we use variable?
To assign some values
To
or to
store
store
data.
some
To
values.
store some values, we are going to use variables.
Yes.
So what is the syntax of declaring variables in Java?
Java.
Data
Data
type and
type,
variable
variable
name.
name.
Type
We have to
variable.
mention the data type and we have to
Yes.
mention the name
Variable
of
name.
variable. But in JavaScript,
Assignment operator.
we are not using any data type to declare any variable. It's just a normal thing for the JavaScript language. Okay, whenever you want to declare some variables, you are not supposed to write the name of data type like int, like float, or like double. You are not supposed to write the name of data type. JavaScript is not going to support that logic. See, there is some difference between the execution of your Java program and your JavaScript program. So this Java language has a compiler and one JVM. Yes or no?
Yes.
So first of all, we are going to compile our code, and then after the compilation, we are supposed to run this. But in JavaScript, there is no such concept of compiler. There is no compiler. First of all, you have to write your JavaScript code and then directly it is going to be executed. Okay, there is no compilation process in the JavaScript programming. Okay, so which a browser's component is going to execute our JavaScript code? As we all know that Java code will be executed by JVM, but for the JavaScript code, browser will use one component, that is JS engine, or you can refer it to as the JavaScript engine. So inside your browser, there is one software, or there is one JavaScript interpreter that is already installed, that is JavaScript engine. Okay, so this JavaScript engine is directly going to execute your JavaScript code. So you just have to write the logic, you just have to write the code, and in the next step, you don't need to compile anything. You are supposed to directly run that code. Okay, there is no compilation phase in the JavaScript. Yes, Pri. So you are asking that JavaScript is statically typed or dynamically typed. So this is dynamically typed language. Okay, all the data type will be assigned dynamically on the runtime, because there is no compiler if JavaScript is concerned. So there is no compile time thing in JavaScript. So I must write a point here. There is no compiler in JavaScript. We are only having which thing, interpreter. So that interpreter is given a name like JavaScript engine. Okay. So only we just need to type our code, and in the next step, without the compilation, we can run the JavaScript code. And
So JavaScript also gets executed line by line.
yes, every language is going to be executed line by line. It is not likely that we are writing 5 lines of code, then first of all, fourth line will be executed. Then after that, the first line will be executed. Nothing is going to be happen in any programming language like that. Okay, every language is going to execute your statements line by line. Okay, so when there is no compiler in JavaScript, so when you are going to create variables, then we will not write the name of data type. So we will simply write the variable name and we can assign the value. That's it. Like I have one variable like a equal to 7, and just you can assign a value like b equal to 4. It is just like that. Okay, you don't have to write the name of variables. But yes, for declaring variables, we can use three keywords like var, let, and const. We are going to see them later on once when we are familiar about the JavaScript. Okay, somewhere familiar about the JavaScript. As of now, first of all, our duty is to just explore some basic concepts in the JavaScript, like how variables are going to be created, how we can operate them, how we can apply conditions, how we can apply loops for them. Okay, so it's just a syntax for JavaScript. Whenever you are going to create some variables, then what will be the syntax? Just write the name of variable and assign the value. But don't you think that there might be some concept of data types in JavaScript? If you are assigning any value in a variable, when we are not writing any data type, so can we think that is it possible that JavaScript has no data types? Is it true? If we are not
False.
No,
writing the
sir.
name of
False.
data type, then this means JavaScript has no support of data types. Then there is the concept of data type in JavaScript, but those data types will be assigned dynamic. Okay, there is no such static typing concept in the
Implicit.
JavaScript.
Implicit, yes.
Yes. So we are having one variable whose name is A and its value is 7. Then what will be the type of A?
Integer.
Numeric.
No,
Numeric.
it is not integer. For JavaScript, integer is nothing. Okay, for
String.
JavaScript, there is one data type that is number. Yes, JavaScript is case sensitive actually.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, if we are not supposed to declare the data type, then how memory is assigned?
So memory is assigned dynamic at the runtime. By seeing the value, your JavaScript engine is going to assign a data type for it. It is going to get memory in the browser itself.
Can you
Okay.
come once again, sir?
Let me write one point over here for you. This JavaScript assigns the data type dynamically by looking at the value. Okay, so this JavaScript is going to assign the data type dynamic. Okay, at what exactly this word dynamically is representing? What I'm trying to say with this word dynamically, what you are understanding?
At
Identity.
runtime.
By itself.
Exactly, at runtime, because there is no compile time. Why there is no compile time? Because there is no
Because
compile.
no concept of compile.
Yes. So all the data types will be assigned directly at the runtime by looking at the values. For example, suppose you are having a variable, let's say A is equal to 5, and one variable that is B, and that is having value as 8. So who is going to execute this JavaScript code? Our browser? Yes or no?
JSON engine.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, our browser, and more specifically our JS engine. Our JavaScript engine is going to execute this logic. So when our JavaScript engine is going to read your code, so it will look for the value. So which value we are assigning in the variable A? We are assigning the 5. Okay, so value is assigned to what will be the direction for assignment?
Right to left.
Yes,
Right to left.
right to left. So first of all, your JS engine will look at the value. So the value we are assigning is 5, and the JavaScript engine is going to assign the variable a data type that is number. Okay, and again for the value 8, the variable b will be assigned a data type that is number. And suppose if you are having one more variable that is c, and who is having a value that is hello. So what data type will c variable is likely to receive?
String.
Yes,
String.
c will be string. And suppose I'm having one variable d in which I have assigned one value that is small a. So what data type the variable d is going to have?
Character.
Character.
Okay, अब सभी ट्रैप में फंस गए. There is no such data type there inside
String, it
JavaScript.
will also string return string.
Exactly. Every text value in your JavaScript is being considered as string. Okay, there is no different data type for character, and there is no different data type for string. Every text, let me write one point here. Every text in JavaScript is considered as string. So this means we can uh, encapsulate a string value either in single quotes or in double quotes also. Okay, so we can encapsulate our string in either in single quotes, or you can go with this double quote. So these values are being considered as string only. Okay, there is no such difference between a single char and multiple characters, that is a string. So whatever you have explored in Java programming, like in Java, you are having one data type char and one more type that is string. Both are considered as a separate data types. But in JavaScript, there is no difference between char and string. There is no such concept of char. Every text is considered as a string value. Okay, and there is going to be one change in the concept of data types, that right now you are able to see that variable A's value is 5. So variable A is having data type number, but it may be possible that suppose if I have assigned the value of A as word, is it possible or not?
Possible, 100% possible.
Yes.
Possible.
Possible, sir.
Possible,
Yes,
sir.
possible.
Value, but by changing its value, you can also change the data type. Okay, so earlier the variable A is 5, then in line number 16, A will become world. So this means not only value is changing, it is changing its data type also. So earlier at line number, at line number 12, A is number, but on line number 16, A variable becomes a string. So that's how JavaScript is going to work. Is it the case with Java programming
No, sir.
also? No. If you are having a variable like integer a, then this a will assign an integer value only. Okay, you just can't assign a string value inside this. But this thing is possible in Java because in JavaScript, because all the data types are being assigned at the runtime. So it will look for the value, and whatever be the value you are assigning, it will make that variable of that same type. So all of you understood this mechanism?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
in JavaScript, there is a concept of final keyword.
Yes, there is a concept of final, but not by using final. We are going to use the const keyword. We are going to see this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let me write one point that in JavaScript, variables can change their religion. Religions mean what?
Data type.
Exactly. Variable can change their data type. Okay. So just try to answer one question. In JavaScript, if variables are changing their data types, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
Bad
Bad
thing.
thing.
Yes,
Bad thing.
this is the bad thing with the JavaScript. So don't you think that all the applications which are using this JavaScript for their development are taking this risk? If suppose someone has built YouTube, okay, and you are aware of this fact that in YouTube we can see the number of views on that videos. Yes or no? We are able to see it, number of views.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So for number of views, let's say I'm having a variable n who is having value like 1200. Like there are 1200 views on that video. So some variable is holding that value. Okay. And I have displayed that value onto the front end, which is built using JavaScript. Okay. So now, as of now, the value of n is 1200. So it will display this number value that is 1200. But what if intentionally or unintentionally someone has assigned the value hello world? Maybe not intentionally, okay, maybe by due to any mistake or any incorrect operation, that developer has assigned the value hello world inside n. Now what will happen?
Value change.
Yes, instead of this value 1200, the users are going to see hello world. So do you think that YouTube kind of application or Flipkart and Facebook or Instagram kind of applications are taking this risk?
Sir, order matters.
It's
They must
order
have.
definitely going to matter. Let's say uh, display value of n. Let's say this is my operation on the screen. Okay, so as of now, the value of n on the screen will be what up to this operation?
Integer.
Yes, integer. So all of the users are going to see that 1200 views are on that video. But by mistake, suppose if one developer has assigned hello world inside the n variable, then what will be displayed on the screen after this assignment?
Like us.
Hello world.
Hello.
Hello world views. So do you think that these large scale applications are taking this amount of risk into their application?
They must have applied some logic to it.
No, they are not supposed to have this kind of risk. Okay, so instead of using the JavaScript language, these people are writing their logic in which language?
Yes.
TypeScript. So I hope you might have heard about this TypeScript language.
Only heard.
Heard about.
Only
Okay.
You have heard about this.
Just
At least you have
just
heard
few
about
seconds ago.
We heard it first time.
it. Yes.
Previous
Few
version
seconds
of
ago.
See,
previous version of the JavaScript.
no, not the previous version. See, what is the logic behind this TypeScript? So in JavaScript, you are aware of this fact that we are not having any data type for the variables, right? But if you want to have the type safety, so we can say that in JavaScript, that JavaScript is not type safe. We can say this point that JavaScript is not type safe because if at some moment of time your variable is number, then when you assign a boolean, it will change its type. When you assign a string value, it is going to change its type to string or to a boolean value. So this means JavaScript is not type safe. But if you want to make your JavaScript type safe, then you are going to use the TypeScript. So the TypeScript is what? So TypeScript is just a JavaScript with added data types. Only the difference in TypeScript and JavaScript. So TypeScript is just a JavaScript but with data types. Okay, so for the development purpose of any real-time application, they are not going to use this Joker, that is JavaScript. They are not going to use this JavaScript language because they are not going to take the risk in the type safety. That is one case which we need to understand, that for any real-time applications development, they are using TypeScript, they are writing their code in TypeScript, and when they are done with writing the code, they are going to convert or they are going to compile that TypeScript into the JavaScript, and at the runtime only the JavaScript will going to be executed. Okay, so this TypeScript will only be preferred at the development time, and for the hosting time we will use the JavaScript only. So how the JavaScript will be written? So we are not supposed to write JavaScript by ourselves. We are supposed to write the TypeScript code, and that TypeScript will be compiled into the JavaScript, and that compiled code of JavaScript will be executed then. Okay, but this TypeScript is not in your syllabus, but you have to build a practice of writing your code in this TypeScript. So just after the completion of our JavaScript, of when our React JS course will be completed, okay, it's your duty to write that entire logic, whatever be the application we will develop. So you are supposed to write that logic into the TypeScript by searching it on internet. Okay, so I want you guys to learn about the TypeScript language. It will always good to write a code of JavaScript into the TypeScript, because TypeScript is going to provide the type safety into your JavaScript. So all of you understood this?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So let's continue further. Okay, so as of now, we are very much familiar that how we can assign a value into a variable. Just write the name of variable and assign a value into it. That's it. So now let's see how we are going to display the value of these variables. Let's say I want to display the value of A onto my console. Then I would like to write console.log, and I have written this value A. Is it right? Is it correct or not?
No, sir.
No.
So
Can you repeat, please?
No,
I
it is
have a
correct.
variable A whose value is 5, and I want to print the value of A. Is it a correct way?
No, sir.
So,
No.
sir.
No, sir.
So how we are going to write the value of A?
Remove that inverted commas.
Yes. Just remove that inverted double quotes. And you can see on the console, we are having this variable's value as 5. Okay. And in the same way, you can also print the value of B, or you can just simply apply one comma and just write the value of B. So this is going to print the value of A and value of B. So you can see value of A is 5, and the value of B is 8. Okay. And let's say if I'm having one string that is S1, its value is hello. And let me show you another that is S2, and I'm writing this word inside the single quotes only. Okay, so that you can understand that we can write the string value either in double quotes or in single quotes. So let's print their values S1 comma S2. So there is no such concept of char data type in JavaScript. There is only one data type for the text values, that is a string. So both values here are considered as string. Hello is also a string and world is also a string. And you can also assign some Boolean value, as you have seen in Java. Let's say I'm having one variable that is C, and you can also assign a value like true, and you can also assign a value like false. Okay. So this is how we are going to deal with the variables. Okay, so in Java, you have seen operators also. So
Yes, sir.
all of you are familiar with arithmetic operators.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
whatever be the operators you have seen in Java, we are likely to get those operator in JavaScript also. So arithmetic operators are also in JavaScript. Relational operators. What are the relational operators?
Greater than, more than, equal
Greater than,
Yes.
equals to.
Those same operators we are getting in JavaScript. And we are having logical operators. What are the logical operators?
and nor.
and or.
And or not.
And
These
or
are
not.
the operators which are logical. So let me write their symbols: plus, minus, multiplication, division, and we are having this modulus, and less than, greater than, less than or equal, greater than or equal, double equal, and not equal. And we are having one logical operator.
Or
Also.
That is
logical
AND operator. One is this OR operator. What the symbol called for OR operator?
Logical or.
Logical or.
pipe, double pipe.
Double pipe.
Double pipe. And for not operator, we can apply this exclamation sign. And we are having assignment operators. Like what are assignment operators?
Equals
Equal
to.
is a sign. We can also use like plus equal,
Shorthand.
minus equal, multiply equal, and you can apply it with any arithmetic operator.
Compound.
Yeah. And one more operator is there, increment operator. You have seen this plus plus. This also we are getting in JavaScript. And one is the decrement operator, that is minus minus. This is the same operator in JavaScript. I have as you've seen in Java. And one operator is there, that is conditional operator. Have you seen this operator? That is
Yes, sir.
question mark.
Yes.
First of all, it is also known as the ternary operator. Why we are referring it to as a ternary operator?
Because it takes 4 values.
Three
values.
Take
Three
three
values.
operands.
Sorry, 3 values.
Yes.
Ternary operator. Yeah.
So first of all, you have to write one condition for it. Then just write a question mark. And after the question mark, you just have to mention the two values, like v1 colon v2. So what is the purpose of using this conditional operator? Suppose you are having a variable like v3 and you want to assign a value either of v1, either of v2, but by checking a condition. So when some condition is true, you want to assign a value v1. Suppose condition is false, you want to assign a value v2. So this is the case where we want to use ternary operator. Let me show you one example of this. People might be wondering that how we are going to use it. Yeah. Okay, so these are the two variables. A is 5 and B is 8. And I'm declaring one variable, that is C, and I want to assign a value inside the C variable which is greater between A and B. Okay, I want to assign the greatest integer among A and B inside the C variable. So just answer it. Can we assign a variable A directly?
We can, yes.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
can.
Yes, but that will be the value of A.
Always it will assign the value of A. But what our task is, we have to assign
Biggest
that value which is greater. This is our task. We have to assign that value which is greater among A and B. Since we can assign the A, but it's not guaranteed all the time that A is going to be greater. Yes or no?
Ternary operator can be used.
Yes. So we first of all we have to check
Check the condition.
is A greater or is B greater. So we have to check a condition. Like we have a condition like if A is greater than B, then just assign the value of A. And if this condition is false, just assign the value of B. Okay, so this is how this ternary operator is going to work. So when this condition is true, it will assign the A. And when this condition is false, it will assign the value of B. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how this ternary operator is going to work. So we are going to use this this operator more frequently. Okay, we are going to use this operator whenever you are having one specific condition, and based on that condition you are having a value. So instead of writing the if else, okay, so instead of writing the if else, we are going to use this ternary operator. Okay, so we can do same thing with if else, but it will take more lines of code just to write this logic. Okay, so we can use a ternary operator for that purpose. Okay, so these are the operators which we can also use in JavaScript.
Sir,
Okay, yes.
isn't there single and an or?
Single and
Bitwise.
or
Bitwise.
Yes,
Bitwise and
yes, there are bitwise operators also, but in day-to-day life, you are not likely to see these bitwise operators, but Yes, JavaScript supports bitwise operators. So bitwise operators are only going to work on the bits of any decimal value, on the binary form of any decimal value. Okay, so if you are having those operations on any decimal number or for any binary operation, you can go with the bitwise operators also. This is going to support them. Okay. So now there comes one more thing, control structure. I'm not going to show you the control structure in depth because you all studied this concept in Java. Like all of you are familiar with the syntax of if else, then if else if ladder. Are you guys familiar with it? If else if ladder. I
Yes,
know
sir.
that you have seen these all the concepts in Java. झूठ नहीं बोल सकते तुम लोग कि नहीं आता.
सर एलसीफ लैडर क्या है वो नहीं पता.
वो तुमको
Nested if
पता
else.
होगा.
Nested
Nested
if
if
else
else.
loop.
No.
Okay.
Nested if else is something different.
Then ladder.
Something different thing.
If else ladder तो पता ही है.
Else if. Have you applied this?
के अंदर.
If again. This is nested if. Nesting means one if inside another if.
घोंसला बनाना.
So if else if ladder is something different, like you are having if and just below it, not inside it. Okay, you are having one else if. Have you guys applied this? If
Yes,
else
sir.
if
Yes,
else
sir.
if
Yes,
else
sir.
if.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is the else if ladder.
More often.
This is if else if ladder. So it's the same syntax. There is no difference in Java and the JavaScript when this control structure is being considered. If else if ladder, you are having that nested if. You have also seen switch case. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So you can apply these all the concepts in the same way. There is no such difference. There is no single difference between them. You can apply directly. Okay, and as far as loops are being concerned, again loop is also part of control structure. So you have seen three types of loops. That is the for
While
loop,
loop.
while loop, and you
Do
have
while.
also seen do while loop. So the JavaScript language is going to provide the same kind of loop, and there is again no difference in the syntax of the Java loop and the JavaScript loops. There is no such difference. All the things are going to work the same. Okay, so I will give you some task so that you can perform these operations in JavaScript also. Okay, so that you can have a hands-on onto these control structure concepts in JavaScript also. But again, logic wise, syntax wise, there is no difference. Okay. Okay. So let's have a short break of 10 minutes and we will resume post break. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so welcome back after the break. So let me share my screen. Okay, so is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so earlier we are discussing about these control structures like if else, if ladder, nested if switch case, and in the same way you can write some loops. So let me take one example so that you can have a look that how we are going to implement the loop and if else concept in JavaScript. It's just the same syntax of conditions. It will going to be just the same syntax for the loops also, but only the difference will be that whenever you are going to display, instead of writing the system.out.print, you are supposed to write the document.write or your console.log or any specific logic you are having. So our task is display even numbers between 1 second. Okay, so our role is to display even numbers between 1 to 20. Okay, so display, we have to display even numbers between 1 to 20. So what will be the loop for this? From which position we have to start the loop?
Starting will be 1 and up to 20.
Yes. So let me write for loop here. So what is the syntax of for loop? First of all, we have to write initialization, then we have to write condition, and we have to write then update statement like increment or decrement. So for writing for loop, I am just assigning a variable I as value 1. So I is equal to 1. So you don't have to declare it. So in Java programming, you might have declared the variable like int I, then inside loop I equal to 1. So in JavaScript, you can directly write I equal to 1 because all the values are being assigned dynamically. So I equal to 1, then I less than equal to 20, and I plus plus. Then inside that for loop, we can write this if condition like if I modulus 2 is 0, then only we have to print the value of I. Okay, so this is the same concept in which you have applied for and if else in the Java programming. So we are applying the same thing in the JavaScript also. Okay, so you guys are able to see that in the console area itself, we are having numbers right starting from 2 and their ending value is 20. Okay, so this is how we are going to apply this kind of syntax in the JavaScript also. There is no change. Okay, but only the print statement is going to be changed. And one more thing, variable declaration is not likely uh, to be present inside the JavaScript as in Java. Okay, so all of you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want you guys to just have a hands-on or to practice some of the problems of control structure. I will give you some practice tasks for that. I will give you some links. There you can find some of the questions for if else and some questions for the loops. Okay.
But if you want to display the same on the web page,
Yeah, so instead of writing the console log,
Document.
yeah, document dot write.
Right.
So document dot write value of I. Okay, but all the numbers are being displayed one after other. Now suppose we want to maintain a space in between them. So you can just concat a space. So it's the same way of concating the values in Java. Yes or no? You are using
sir.
plus. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So in the same way, we can concat any string using this plus operator. So you can see there is some space. And what if we want to change the line? Slash n?
Slash n. Yes.
No.
No, not here,
This
but
is
in
different.
Java.
Yes, in Java we are using slash n, but in web we will use dr. So
dr.
I'm writing this dr. So is it correct?
No, sir.
No, sir. It should
Here
be
is tag.
Yes,
tag.
it should be a tag. Okay, so you can see every number is being displayed in the new line. Okay. But in any real-time application, we are not using this document.write. We are having some tags, HTML tags, and we will write our data in those tags. Okay. But as of now, for the syntax purpose, you can do it like this. Okay. So I will give you some practice tasks so that you can have hands-on onto these control structures. So now here comes the next concept which we will see in depth, that is array. So this same feature is there in Java technology also. What is the array?
To store similar type of
Store.
data.
Yes.
Collection of similar.
Collection.
Exactly. So
Continuous
array
elements.
is a collection of similar elements. So if the type of array is integer, then all the elements are going to be integer. If let's say type of array is float, then all the elements are going to be float. But in JavaScript, can we write the name of data type by declaring any variable?
No, sir.
No. So in JavaScript, we just simply cannot say that array is a collection of similar elements. So we are just saying that array is a collection of elements. So elements can be homogeneous or elements can be heterogeneous. Okay. So you can put either heterogeneous elements or homogeneous elements according to your need. One more thing is there. When you are defining one array in Java, you are also writing its size. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. But in JavaScript, while declaring any array, we are not supposed to write any size. Okay. So what will be the syntax of writing or declaring an array in the JavaScript? So you don't have to use this new keyword and the data type, and inside that you are writing some size. Okay. So instead of doing this, what we will do? So we just have to write square brackets, and inside the square bracket, just put your values in comma separated way. So this is how the array will be there in JavaScript. That's the syntax. Just write square brackets, and in between square brackets, just put all of your elements. Let me show you one example. Let's say I'm having an array in which there are some elements like 10, 20, and 30. One string value is there, one boolean value is there, and one value is there which is 9.4. So what are the type of values in my array?
Number,
Heterogeneous.
string,
String,
and
boolean, and so.
Yes,
float.
these elements are heterogeneous, but What about the type of 10, 20, and 30?
Number.
Number.
Number
and
and
string.
string. True is Boolean. What about
Boolean.
9.4?
Number.
Number.
So number.
It is also considered as number. So this is the syntax of declaring array in JavaScript. Okay. So you can assign this array into a variable. Let's say I'm going to assign as my list. Okay. So this is my list, and we can directly print this array onto the console. Let's say I'm writing this variable's name as my list. Let me open that console area first. Okay, so you can see our console is displaying this array. Okay, so in this array, we are having 6 elements. And you are also aware of this fact that each element of array is going to have an index number. Yes?
Yes, sir.
So from which position the index number will start?
0.
Zero.
Next.
So this first element is going to have an index 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what if I want to get only the first element of this array? So we will write my list and then square bracket. So my list, and inside the square bracket, just put your index number, which is 0. So this is going to display the first element. And suppose if you want to display the second element, then you are supposed to write my list and index number would be 1. So first of all, complete list is going to be displayed. Then it is going to print the first value. Then it is going to print the second value. Index 0 will be for the first element.
Sir.
Index 1 will be for the second element.
Sir,
Yes.
my list is like AR array in Java. ARR.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, what if we want to display these values in web page? We have to use types.
Yes. In any real-time case, we will use some HTML tags like paragraph tag, h1 tag, or any tag you want to use, and we will write some JavaScript code to display that data into HTML tags. But
can you show some sample on it?
I can show you that sample, but in order to do that, we have to understand one concept, that is DOM, document object model. So once we are exploring this concept, which is DOM, then I will show you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. As of now, we are only just discussing that how we can declare an array and how to carry out operations on array. Yes. Now suppose in Java, you are using index number 6. What will happen?
Out of bounds.
Out of bound.
That's
out of bounds
No.
exception.
Exactly, out of bounds exception. Let me show you what will happen here in Java also. Now just refresh it. So you are able to see this value is undefined. So you can't access the index number which is out of your bounds. There is no such error, but it will give just a value like undefined. That value is being not defined yet. Okay. Is it clear, Dattatreya?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, if you want to add some elements, then no,
Yes,
how we
you can definitely add. So we will discuss the methods of array. Like you can write the name of your array as the my list, and you are getting one function that is push, and inside that push function, you can pass any value that you want to store in that array. We will see it in the sequence. Okay, so we all understood that how we can declare an array, and array elements are going to have some index number that will start from the 0. And again, we can also find the length of an array. How we can find the length of array in Java?
AR.length.
Array dot length. So in that same way, we can use length property here also. So let me show you that how we are going to use that length property. So now console log, and what is the name of our array? That is my list. So dot length. So this my list is similar to that ARR. So let me change its name so that you can get a feel that we are creating an array, because without ARR उनको अंदर से feeling नहीं आ रही है वो कि array.
You can name anything to the array.
Actually,
Now, is it okay to everyone? Okay, let me refresh it. Yeah. So you guys are able to see an array. So 10 is at index 0, 30